What do you say? What do you know? It's the full Monte Sports Show. It is Saturday, January 16th, 2021. I am your host, Monte Perez, a.k.a. the Sports Whisperer. I want to thank everyone for tuning in last week. We had 35 states across the country watch the full Monte Sports Show, and we are trending number three when you type in sports shows for the full Monte Sports Show. Listen, you can follow me on social media. On Twitter, MonteJP231. On Facebook, Monte Perez. And on Instagram, Monte Perez 2. And of course, keep the comments coming. Love having the comments coming throughout the show. If I don't put your comment up, I definitely watch it during the week. So we love, the interaction of this show. We have a jam-packed show today. Jam-packed. We have 6 guests coming on. In about 10 minutes, Chris Rosenbluth is going to join us to talk about the Saints. Then we're going to have John Meyer talk the Kansas City Chiefs. Then we're going to have the crew from the 3rd and 2 pod, Jay Andrews, and Super Bowl winner Brandon Jackson join us to talk about the Green Bay Packers at the top of the hour. Rico, Show Me the Money Graziano is going to join us. There it is. Rico, Show Me the Money Graziano will join us with the Sports Philosopher, Levi Chartereau, talk about the Bills, and of course, NFL roundtable discussion. Of course, the NFL roundtable discussion. Now, normally, guys, what I do is I go through every game at the start of the show. I will tell a funny story to open this thing up, but we're not going to do that this week because I have so many guests on, so we're just going to get to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's start with the good. Nick Saban won his 7th title. 6 with Alabama, 1 with LSU. Now, guys, and I don't understand the hatred here. We're going to talk with Chris and John about this because a lot of people are asking, what do we need to do to make the college football more competitive? What do we need to do to make college football more competitive? Well, I don't know what we need to do to make college football more competitive, but what I do know is we have to just really appreciate how dominant and how great Nick Saban has been. Gets a new team every 2 or 3 years, never misses a beat. So good for Nick Saban. I know there's a lot of haters out there. They want to make college football more competitive. My thing is, if you're a school, if you're if you're in the Big 10, you're in the Big 12, you're in Michigan, you got to figure out a way to compete with with this legend. You got to figure out a way. Every year it's the same 3, right, guys? Every year it's Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and then a 4th one. So once again, the good. Congratulations to the excellence of Nick Saban. The excellence of Nick Saban. Now to the bad. So the NBA is now having problems with players breaking protocol. George Hill said, I'm a grown man. I'm going to do what I want to do. If I want to go see my family, if I want to go see my friends, you can't tell me I have to stay in my room 24/7. Listen, George, I just had this conversation with my sister this morning. The NBA is the safest environment for you and your family. Why? You get tested 3 or 4 times a week. So if you do get the virus, they automatically shut you down and put you in quarantine. George, you work for a company. You don't like the rules? Sit out. You can't adhere to the company's code of conduct and what they want you to do? Sit out. No one's making you go to work. I'm tired of spoiled NBA players saying, I want to do what I want to do. There's a virus out there. I wish that I got tested 3 times a week. I just got tested this week because a friend of mine, a coworker, got tested positive for COVID. So I've been tested twice now in 3 months, both negative. But I wish I could get tested every other day. I'm not the one of these guys who say these NBA athletes, these NFL are spoiled brats. They work their asses off. But this is ridiculous by George. I'm a grown man. I'm going to do what I want to do. You want to do what you want to do? Start your own business and don't work for the NBA. and don't work for the NBA. I'm tired of people saying, well, you just got to live your life. Yeah, but live your life responsibly. Live your life responsibly. And now to the ugly. My friend Andrea sent me this picture, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Right? Look at that. Right there, James Harden coming to Brooklyn. Look, I don't want to say that this isn't going to be the three best players, most prolific scorers ever assembled. They're going to be better than Magic, Kareem, Worthy. They're going to be better than, scoring-wise, than McHale, Parrish, and Bird. But let's be honest, guys. Who out of these three is going to talk to the media? Who out of these three is going to be the leader of the team? We already have Kyrie Irving taking personal time and going partying, having a birthday party, no mask. Who's the leader on this team? Let me just summarize here. Kevin Durant has now left two teams. He left Golden State. He left, before that, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kyrie Irving left LeBron James. Then Kyrie Irving leaves LeBron James to go play for Brad Stevens, who's one of the best player coaches in the country, and he leaves him. There's no doubt in my mind, guys, that they could score 85 to 90 points a game. There's no doubt in my mind that they could do that. But how are you going to figure out Kyrie Irving, who wants to be the number one option? Now he's number three. Now he's number three. So I don't understand. I put this graphic up. There's Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant's number one. James Harden's number two. You think Kyrie Irving's going to be dancing at number three? No, he left LeBron James so he could be the main guy. He's going to be an afterthought now in the fourth quarter. He's going to be an afterthought now in the fourth quarter. And there you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, listen, guys, I'm going to get to with my extra point as we're waiting for Chris Rosebaglew. He's going to come on in about 2 minutes. Then right after that, we're going to get John Meyer on. I really appreciate these guys coming on because I think they're both at work right now, so they're going to give us 10 minutes each. So I really appreciate them coming on. But I'm going to get to the Jets hire. I'm going to get to the Jacksonville hire. Obviously, breaking news, if you don't know, the Jacksonville Jaguars hired Urban Meyer, the legendary coach who coached at Utah, Florida, Ohio State. And then the Jets hired Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator from the San Francisco 49ers. This is going to bring credibility to both organizations that desperately need it. I think they were both good hires. I think they were both very good hires. Now let's do something that we love to do. Something that we love to do. Yeah, Kyrie has gone mad. Listen, Kyrie Irving thinks the world is flat. He thinks the world is flat. So, yeah, Kyrie Irving is definitely, I don't know how it's going to work. It's a train wreck, but like I said, they're going to be the best offensive trio to ever play the game. We're going to bring on Chris right now. Chris Rosebaglew. Chris, thanks so much. I know you have a lot going on today. I appreciate the quick 10, 15 minutes that you're going to give us. Before we start the questions, Chris, you got to be excited, right? I mean, this is what it's all about. They win, and they move on. So you got to be excited today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole divisional round, Monte, actually, I just love all the teams that ended up advancing to this round of the playoffs. I think every team has a really interesting storyline. If there's one that's not as interesting, maybe it's the Rams, but their defense has been so fun. So even them, they've been exciting to watch. But yeah, it's a great field. And for the Saints, this is what it came down to. You knew this was going to be Drew Brees' last year. You kind of felt that this was the last ride. So they got a chance to do something that they haven't been able to do over the last 3 years, or at least succeed at this stage. So we'll see what happens, but they couldn't ask for a better opportunity. This is what they wanted. In
my career, I've faced 3 times a team 3 times in one season. I'm 3-0. And it wasn't because I was a great coach. It's just we were better than them. Okay, so the Saints dominated. They won 34-23, then 38-3. Are you concerned that they're going to be overconfident here because they took the Bucs out to the woodshed the last time they played?
I'm going to say no, and I think there's a lot of factors. The first one, when I listened to Sean Payton this week, he seems very loose, and I think that's a good thing. And on the other side, the Buccaneers have been doing a lot of talking this week, which is fine. I have no issue. I love friendly banter, and you got Devin White saying he's going to pick off Drew Brees for sure. You have
listen, you're being nice. They weren't. They were trash talking the hell out of someone. I don't know if they're trying to build themselves up because they got spanked 2 times in a row, but they're doing a lot of trash talking for a team that's an underdog.
Yeah, and I will say this, Monty, when the Saints are quiet, that's when I like them at their best. Last year, going into the Vikings game, you had Cam Jordan mocking Kirk Cousins. Well, how'd that work out? The Saints got bounced first round. The Saints are really quiet right now, and I know I think the Bucs are trying to hype themselves up, like you said. And I agree. Look, people can say it's tough to beat a third team, a team a third time. I get that, but like you said, the Saints, similar to your situation, when you're the better team, you kind of expect to win again. And the Saints have been in this situation before. In 2017, they played the Panthers 3 times. They beat them by double digits in the regular season twice. And then in the playoffs, they won 31-26, obviously much closer. But they did that against a divisional opponent for a third time. So with this game, I think a lot of it's the Brady factor where people get nervous that, hey, it's tough to beat Brady a third time. But Brady was never swept, I believe, by a division opponent until this season. So things do change. History's meant to be rewritten. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not worried about the Saints being comfortable. This Saints team, they learned a really hard lesson last year. And I think that hit them hard that, hey, you were 13-3, you overlooked the Vikings, and guess what? You got bounced in the first round, and they kind of got what they deserved. They look really different this year. They're not talking a lot. They're very focused. And I think it's not confirmed, but I do think that Drew Brees, this being his last season, I think it has everyone a little bit more on edge in a good way. And they have a sense of urgency like, hey, we've been knocking on the door. Let's finally break through. We can't have a 4th year of heartbreak.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. Like I said, no one expected Minnesota to go into New Orleans and beat them last year. So maybe it's a turning point. Look, I was shocked last week. Deontay Harris, my brother has loved this guy all year. He's a diehard Saints fan saying, get this guy more touches. 7 catches for 83 yards. We know this offense is healthy now. There's just so many weapons on this team. What do you like? What do you like about this offense? Because, when you play a great defense, there's 2 schools of thought. The first thought is, we're going to do what we do. You try to stop us. And the other is, we're going to take what you give us. And obviously with Harris having 7 catches for 83 yards, they took what they gave him.
Yeah, Harris was fantastic. And what I really liked about the way they used him was he missed the last 4 games. And Sean Payton, I think, used that time to scheme up different ways to utilize his skill set because they were putting Deontay Harris in formations the Saints have not used this year. So that tells me that Sean Payton's been in the lab. He's been cooking up some good plays for this team, and that's a really good sign for them. And Deontay, what he gives them that burst, that explosiveness that I don't think they get from another receiver. Alvin Kamara is great, but he's not this speedster like Deontay Harris. Michael Thomas is great, but he's really that guy that's going to beat you on slants, curl routes, anything in the short passing game. Deontay gives them that guy who can catch it for 5 yards and take it for 50. And that's important for the Saints because Drew Brees isn't going to throw the ball deep. So if you can get chunk plays out of a small pass that goes for 20, 25 yards, I think that's a big element for the Saints. And honestly, Deontay Harris should have had an even better stat line, but Taysom Hill missed him on a play where they put him in. He ends up fumbling. He was wide open. I don't know what Taysom Hill was doing. I know you and me.
We've talked about how he puts in Taysom Hill when Drew Brees is in a rhythm. It's mind-boggling to me. All right, let's talk about this defense. Can I make the argument, other than the Ravens, that this has not only been the best defense all year, it's the best defense remaining in the playoffs?
I'm not going to say the best because you know what it is? The Rams defense for me, what they do differently, the Saints that I like, they feel like they force big-time turnovers. I think the Saints defense is incredible, but I think the Saints defense is a lot of just playing fundamentally sound, but they don't make the big plays. And what I mean is the Bears game, they shut them down, but they didn't force a turnover and they had 1 sack. I feel like with the Rams, you see they have a pick 6 on Russell Wilson. They make a lot of big plays down the stretch. I think the Saints defense, it's up there. It's one of the top 3 defenses in remaining in this playoff field, but I would probably go with the Ravens and the Rams because they have that big playability, that ability to make turnovers. But look, the Saints have forced Brady into 5 picks this year. If they can force him into a pick or 2 Sunday, maybe my mindset changes on things. But this is definitely a great defense, and this has been the story of the Saints. I know we talk about offense, but the defense is what's gotten them to this point. And when the offense struggled against the Bears in the first half, they only had 7 points. The defense held the Bears to 3 points. So they did their job. They were fantastic. And the only points they really gave up in the second half or garbage time. So the defense is fantastic. I would love to see them, though, force a turnover or generate more sacks.
George brings up a great point. Could Antonio be a factor in this game? I think the Saints defense is underrated. A lot of people don't realize this too. The Rams are number one in scoring, giving up scoring defense. That's why it's going to be interesting. The Packers are number one in scoring offense. But the Bills, most people don't know this, the Bills caused the most turnovers in the fourth quarter. So when teams were trailing, a lot of times the Bills were up, and it's kind of a deceiving stat because teams were trailing against the Bills. They got to throw the ball, so they know it's coming. But I think this Saints defense, what they've done with Tom Brady, I said this last week or 2 weeks ago, to beat Tom Brady, you have to rush him up the middle with 4 guys, right? If you start sending 5, 6, 7 guys, he's going to recognize the mismatch. Do you think with their front four, they can continue what they did in the last game, or you think they're going to disguise blitz packages with him?
I think they could get there with the front four, and the big thing is that Trey Hendrickson's going to play. He missed last week with the stinger. I don't know if it does it, acted up on him, or the Saints kind of said, hey, we can beat the Bears without him. Let's give him that extra week of rest, because he actually was a full participant on Friday, which is good news. So I think with Hendrickson, he's a guy who had 13.5 sacks. Putting him in the lineup is going to be big for the Saints. But what I found really interesting, Monty, was the Bucs used Gronkowski primarily as a blocker last week in Washington. So if they bring him in and they basically have 6 guys blocking, then if you're the Saints, you got to scheme up some blitzes, whether it's Malcolm Jenkins or Demario Davis or even Gardner Johnson coming off the corner. But if they're not putting in Gronk as that extra blocker and it's their 5 versus the Saints 4, I think the Saints have a good shot to hit home. And remember, the right guard for the Buccaneers fractured his ankle against Washington. So they got a practice squad player at right guard for this weekend. If you're the Saints, maybe some stunts in the interior, find ways to get pressure, but I think they will.
Yeah, and listen, you say this all the time. Rob Gronkowski and George Kittle are the 2 best blocking tight ends in the league. They're almost like glorified linemen. We're talking with Chris Roserglou. We're going to bring on John Meyer in about a minute. Chris, break down this game. But before you break down this game, I have a question for you. 2 minutes left. Would you rather be down 4 with Breeze at the ball at your 35-yard line, or would you rather have that defense on the field with Brady? How do you pick your poison there?
I'm not going to lie, Monty. I was thinking about this one for the last 2 days. I was like, I don't know which way I'm leaning. It could go either way. And then when I thought about it, and it sounds crazy, I think I would go with the situation where the ball's in Drew Brees' hands. And this defense has been really good. It really has. But this defense against Tom Brady, 2 minutes left, game on the line. You never know. Maybe he gets a favorable call and Saints fans get PTSD. I don't know what happens, but there's scenarios there that would get me a little nervous. And with this being Drew Brees' last ride, I think it would almost be fitting in a scenario where he can beat Brady. He has a chance to not cement his legacy, but this would be a big win for him if he can pull this off. I think that would be the scenario that I'd go with, and I'd also trust it more. I just feel like with Drew in the 2-minute drill throughout the season, I know he has limitations. He's just been so good and surgical. And I worry that with the defense we've seen against the Vikings in overtime last year, we saw with the Minnesota Miracle, we saw with the Rams in overtime, they've allowed teams to get down the field in crunch time. This defense is way better than the past 3 years. I'll give them that 100%. But I'm more comfortable with 9.
No, it's scary because you and I rarely agree. We agree 100% on the Saints in this issue. Put the ball in Drew Brees' hands. Let Kamara, Thomas, and their playmakers come in. Give us 1 or 2 keys to the game on offense and defense. Then I'm going to bring John Meyer in. I'm going to ask you a college football question, and then we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us. I know this was a quick thing for you. You have stuff to do today, so I really appreciate taking the time. But give us a few keys to the game, and then I'll ask you a college football question.
Absolutely. My key offensively, if they can do this, you got to, 1, protect Drew Brees in terms of the blitz. The Bucs defense is, I don't want to say overrated, but they get a little overhyped at times, and they have a lot of talent, but they're not producing numbers that you want to see. Like Taylor Heineke looked pretty good last week, which I don't think a lot of people expected. If you can protect on the blitz, because Todd Bowles loves to send pressure. He likes to use 5-man rush. He likes to send Devin White up the middle. If the Saints can block that with a Latavius Murray in protection or throw in an extra blocker like a James Hurst, I think that'll give Drew Brees a really good chance to exploit this secondary. And Drew's had good success. The second time around, he had 4 touchdown passes. So I think if the Saints can do that, that would be big. And if they can get Alvin Kamara matched up against one of the Bucs linebackers, whether that's Levante David or
huge. Yeah, huge.
That'd be big time, because the only linebacker I've really seen have good success against Kamara is maybe Eric Kendricks, and Eric Kendricks is a phenomenal player, obviously, too. So that's my key offensively. Defensively, I'm the cliche one would be get pressure on Brady with your front four. That'd be the obvious one. So I'm going to go a little bit different here. can Marshawn Lattimore take Mike Evans out of the game? Because he does it very often. If he does it again, and remember, Mike Evans isn't at 100%, I think this would be a chance for Lattimore to, one, build up his value, because eventually he's going to talk shop on an extension with the Saints, and two, you take away Brady's number one target, and if you do that, then it's kind of like, okay, Godwin and AB have to beat you, and you can simplify things. If your number one cornerback can take out the number one receiver, you're going to be in a good spot. So those are two things I'm monitoring.
Give me a score. Who wins this game?
So I don't think it's going to be a blowout for either side. I think that the Bucs are going to be much sharper in this one, and you got the Saints who, look, the Saints have been a good team, but at times they don't dominate opponents. I'm still going to roll with the Saints. I'm going to go 31-27. I think it's going to be really close. It's going to come down to the wire. And the reason I'm going to go with the Saints, because I know people are going to say it's tough to beat Brady 3 times. This Bucs team is better. And this Bucs team is better than week 9. I have to add that they're playing much better offensively. Just the combination of Sean Payton and Drew Brees, I trust more than Brady and Bruce Arians, because Bruce Arians is unpredictable. I know Sean Payton does some weird stuff. Don't get me wrong, Monte. We talk about it all the time. But Bruce Arians sometimes too, it's like, why are you throwing deep so much? Let Brady hit his checkdowns. Let Brady just do what Brady's been doing for the last 2 decades. So I'm going to go with Brees and Sean Payton. This is his last ride. It's his last game in the Superdome, because I expect the Packers to take care of business against the Rams. So give me Saints winning this one against the Packers NFC Championship matchup. That'd be pretty good.
Okay, we're going to have you on for just a minute. We're also bringing on John Meyer. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Monte. Can you hear me? Just fine.
I can hear you fine. Just real quick, we're going to get Chris' answer, then we'll get your answer on this. Chris, you're a huge college football guy. What do we do to try and create a more competitive atmosphere in college football? Because every year it's the same thing: Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, then a 4th team. You answer that, and then we're going to let you go, and then we'll get John's answer.
Yeah, it's so tough, because a lot of people think the simple answer is, well, just expand the playoff. And it might be. It really might be. But the problem is, even if you expand the playoff, it always comes down to recruiting. And a lot of these kids just look at 4 schools as the ones that have a chance to win, with Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State. But I do think, even though I just kind of ripped that answer, it probably is the only possible solution, because if you expand it, maybe a team like a Cincinnati, who is bringing back almost all their starters from last year, feels like they have a chance. Maybe a team like Oregon and USC and these Pac-12 teams feel like, hey, we could finally get in. But with the way they have it right now, it feels like we're recycling teams. It's Bama, it's Clemson, it's Ohio State, and then we go between the Georgias, the Notre Dames, and the Oklahomas, and then that's it. It's like an exclusive club for those teams. So at least if you expand it, I don't think it's going to change the fact that a team like Bama or Clemson's probably going to win every other year, but at least you add another team. It's a chance for another upset, and you have recruiting parity. There's no recruiting parity right now. All the top schools are the ones that are going to make the playoffs.
Chris, here's my proposal, then we'll get John, and Chris will let you go. I say you cut the scholarships. Whatever the number is, if it's 85, because let's face it, you have 3rd and 4th stringers on Alabama who have potential to go to the pros when they become junior and senior. So my thing is, cut 20 scholarships right there. This way, there's not enough scholarship for you to be a 3rd stringer on Alabama, and you could go to a Cincinnati. I'm not going to say Oregon, because they're usually pretty good with recruiting. Or you could go to a Michigan. You could go to a Maryland, a Minnesota. So that's my answer for that.
Yeah, that's a fantastic answer too, and that actually makes sense, because think about what we've seen with Bama. They had at one point Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and John Mechie at receiver. That's not – you got 5 all-star receivers right there. It just can't happen. All
right, Chris, love having you on. If the Saints win, we'll have you on next week, all right?
Absolutely. Take care,
Thanks so much. Thanks for taking a quick few minutes. Love having Chris Rosenglue on. All right, John, what's your answer for that?
I don't know if there's a right answer. Extending the playoffs might be the right answer, but I'm not sure. The talent's in the South regardless. And still, if you take the scholarships down 10, 15, 20 players, you're just going to spread that talent in the South. You're not going to have kids from Texas and Florida wanting to go to Minnesota or Cincinnati or something like that just because they don't want to play in the cold weather. They want to play where they're comfortable at. And that's
listen, 14 out of the last 15 national championships have come from the South.
Exactly. So there's not a right answer.
How does a school like Kansas State? How do they compete?
They can. That's the simple answer. Is that they can't. They can have a season once a decade where they're a top 5, top 10 team and do well. But I don't think the right answer is out there right now. There's just a huge disparity with what's out there. Let's see.
All right, we're back. I don't know what happened. There was an internet connection. Sorry about that. Thanks for staying. For staying with us. All right. Okay, so let's talk about your Kansas City Chiefs. Look, only 33% of teams that have sat their players and then went on to a bye have won. Do you think that something is to that, or are you worried about the 2 weeks that they took off?
I'm not worried at all. I don't know when rest has become a bad thing. The Chiefs went 7 months and 8 days in between Super Bowl 54 and the Thursday night matchup to start the season against the Houston Texans, and I didn't see a dang bit of rust. So I don't – maybe the numbers are out there, like you said, 33%. I'm not worried about it. It allowed our offensive line to get healthy-ish. We still have Mitchell Schwartz out, and it doesn't look like he's coming back at all this season. But it allowed some much-needed rest to some players. Sammy Watkins will still have out this week, but I like having rest, and I like having 2 games to get to the Super Bowl instead of 3.
Yeah, that's a good point. Listen, I look at this matchup and I say, if I'm going to beat the Chiefs, how am I going to do it? I'm going to keep Patrick Mahomes and that prolific offense off the field. And how you do that is with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt averaging 148.4 yards. Are you concerned with the running game?
Yes, there's concern. You have 2 really good backs there in Cleveland, but there's been this conception that there's this blueprint to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, winning the time of possession, running the ball, keeping Patrick Mahomes off the field, getting to the quarterback without a pass or without blitzing, but having a pass rush. It's worked 3 times in the last 35 games.
That's a good point.
Yes, it works occasionally, but it's not a blueprint to success in beating the Chiefs. I've gone on record as saying this. The team that beats the Chiefs is the Chiefs when they don't take care of the football and they shoot themselves in the foot. And I just don't see that happening right now.
All right, real quickly, I know you're at work and things are getting busy. What are the Chiefs going to do with their running game? How many carries do you think their running backs are going to get today?
I think Le'Veon's going to get the bulk of the carries. I just think they're just not going to rush Clyde Edwards-Helaire back super quick. I could see 7 to 10 touches for Clyde, but I see Le'Veon getting 10 to 12 maybe. I think the Chiefs are probably going to do some gimmicky stuff in the run game. Maybe that short side option that we've seen a couple times. You'll get Tyreek or McCole on some end arounds or something like that. I see 20 to 22 carries for the Chiefs, a $110 somewhere in there, but I would say that it's not going to be a priority for the Chiefs with how decimated the secondary there is in Cleveland.
All right, give us a few keys to this game, offensively and defensively. Give us a score, and really appreciate you taking the time. And feel free to promote where you're at right now and where you're working. I see the beautiful hat, so give our listeners a little taste of that when you're done making a prediction.
Yeah, so I think a fast start is necessary for Kansas City just because of the way that Cleveland can control the ball. So I don't want to see Kansas City dig themselves into a 14 or 17-point hole and try to do that. I think.
Can I just say, if they do that, you're in good shape, because every time they're in the playoffs, they get down 10, 14 points, and then they turn it on.
Yeah, so I would like to get out to a 10 or 14-point lead and put the ball in Baker Mayfield's hands and have him try to beat us. So offensively, fast start, protect Patrick Mahomes is always a priority. And then, like I said earlier, we need to run the ball effectively. And that might not be right between the tackles or up the gut. That might be some end around, some quarterback run game, things like that. But I think there needs to be a little bit of balance to keep Cleveland and that defensive line that they have on their heels. Defensively, 125 is the number that I'd like to see Kansas City keep the Cleveland running game at.
Over under, yeah.
They're averaging close to 150, but if they can keep it in that 125 range, 175 if you throw in the pass game there, I think the Chiefs will win pretty handily in this one. And the goal here is to make Baker Mayfield beat you. You don't want that running game to beat you. Let Baker try to beat you. And if he's trying to do that in the third and fourth quarters, I think Kansas City has a pretty successful run here. I have the prediction at 31-20 to cover that 10.5, that big spread that's out there.
Listen, they haven't covered in like their last 7 wins, so it's always worrisome when a team just plays at a level of competition. But I agree with you. I think they're ready today. I think if they could get to a fast start, Baker Mayfield's in a world of hurt. All right, tell us about what you're doing right now and where you're at.
Okay, I'm about 15 minutes from opening Slaps Barbecue in here in beautiful Kansas City, Kansas, at Strawberry Hill. It's top 3 barbecue restaurant in Kansas City, in my opinion, the number 1, but we're dealing with some big boys who have a few more years on us. It's just been a true blessing to come to work, to do what I love, and have the opportunity to talk sports right here on the patio with a little bit of snow on the ground. It's a great weekend. We had some Cleveland Browns fans in here yesterday. It would just delight my heart to have Sunday afternoon a patio full of Browns fans with a broken heart, but full ribs and burn ends.
Listen, I promise you, when COVID is over, I have so many places I want to go. I'll be visiting that because look, Kansas City barbecue, absolutely unstoppable. Listen, I really appreciate you taking the time out. Tell us quickly about your blog and how we can follow you.
Yeah, so you can check out my blog, chiefscoffeecorner.food.blog. I posted this morning. It just combines a couple passions of mine, talking Kansas City Chiefs, drinking local coffee, and giving some shout out to local business, because we need it in a time like this. Businesses are hurting, especially the small local businesses who are trying to do really good things, break out of the norm. And we've been blessed here in Kansas City. We're under the national averages with restaurants and small businesses closing, but I know the rest of the country is hurting real bad. So if there's any way that I can give a shout out to a small business, I'm glad to do it.
You know, it's funny because I read an article a few months ago, and I didn't realize this. 2 of the top 10 up-and-coming restaurants, and you would never think this, in the country, Pittsburgh and Kansas City. So what you're saying is right. I mean, you wouldn't think of those cities as restaurant havens, but they're really becoming popular. So continued success with that in your blog. And if the Chiefs win, of course, we'll have you on next week, all right?
Okay, sounds good. Sunday morning works a little better.
All right, thanks so much. Take care. Appreciate you taking the time out.
Yeah, good luck.
Listen, I want to thank you all for sticking with. We had some internet problems. I want to thank Chris Rosenglue, and I want to thank John. They both have to be at work, but they came on the show for you guys, to get you knowledgeable about what's going on. And now we're going to bring on 2 of our favorite guests. Let's bring on Jay Andrews, and Brandon Jackson. Brandon's not here yet. All right, Jay, how are you?
I'm good. I think B-Jack is here audio only. I seen just pop up on the screen.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that too. Hold on, let me get him back there. Brandon, you there?
You know I'm here.
Oh my God! Look at this! Look at this foolery, tomfoolery.
Listen,
Let's go,
I
baby.
love putting up pictures and cameras, but can we just leave the camera on you the whole time with that thing right there? That is amazing.
Oh my gosh!
Where'd you get that?
That's a cartoon.
I was doing the tailgate tour many years ago, and a fan at a school had a hat for James Jones and I. And I just kept it. So this was back from 2008 to 2007, 2008. And I love it. It's just boom, 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 ball in the hand, high and tight.
I love it. Listen, I'm wearing my yellow. I got my Green Bay Packer shirt underneath. I got my beautiful Monte Perez Green Bay Packer mug. So I'm all in. Let's get right to this here. Brandon, we saw the Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely struggle because they rested their players. They had some time off. I'm not too concerned, but as a former athlete yourself, as a Super Bowl winner, is there something? We saw Pittsburgh, they weren't even ready. Is there something to this? Because only 33% of playoff teams, after they've rested a week or two, win. Football players, athletes are a creature of habit. Is there something about sticking to your routine that may concern you here?
Well, no, there's 2 differences, right? There's elite and then there's pedestrian. And at best, the Pittsburgh Steelers were pedestrian. Even with Ben Roethlisberger, they would have still had struggles. The Green Bay Packers playing at an elite level consistently all the time on offense and defense. A week off would not hurt them. The couple weeks off hurt Ben Roethlisberger, if anything, and the chemistry of that team with those wideouts. And so for me, when I look at it, it only benefits the Packers because of where they're playing and how they've been gelling.
Listen, Brandon, people, Andrea, she's a diehard Chicago Bears fan. She wants a Bears hat like that. So people love that. Now, Brandon, I agree with you. Listen, I told Rico, show me the money, Graziano, who's a Steeler fan. I told him after week 10, I said the Steelers are the worst 10-0 team I've ever seen. He thought I was crazy. All right, Jay, I want to talk about the coaching matchup here. Sean McVay obviously has been to the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan went to the Super Bowl. All three of these guys were on the same team coaching. And I'm so proud of myself for finding a picture. It took me like 30 minutes. Now, Matt LaFleur was considered the younger brother. He was considered the third in the line of succession there. Do you think he tries to overcoach because him and Sean McVay are best friends? Or do you think he just sticks to the game plan? I said this earlier. In my coaching career, I faced a team 3 times that we beat twice during the regular season. In the playoffs, I went 3-0. Part of that is my team was so good. Part of that I'm a Hall of Fame coach. So, but that's neither here nor there. We don't want to talk about me. So give us your matchup of coaching here. Are you concerned at all that Sean McVay might be a little intimidated by his old, quote-unquote, older brother?
No, because this isn't Matt LaFleur's offense that we saw in 2019 anymore. If you paid attention to what went on in the offseason, Nathaniel Hackett, Matt LaFleur, and Aaron Rodgers tore down this offense to completely nothing. And they installed what everybody liked, the concepts, formations, plays run out of it. And Rodgers is given 2 to 3 plays to call at the line of scrimmage, but given complete freedom to call whatever play he feels like based on what he believes the defense is showing him. And so it's really not McVay versus LaFleur. It's the defensive coordinator versus Aaron Rodgers. And I'm sorry, I'll take Aaron Rodgers all day, every day, and twice on Sundays on this matchup, because that's why it's been so smooth. So the coaching thing, I think, is a little overblown here, because this isn't the same offense we saw last year. This is a completely different offense. It's a mesh between the 16 years of Aaron Rodgers' career, what Nathaniel Hackett has done down in Jacksonville and in his past, and what LaFleur has learned through the Shanahan system and married it together. So McVay has no idea, other than his tape study, of what this offense has. And now they've had a week off. And so you got guys like Tavon Austin that haven't been a big part of the offense, that you don't know what they're going to do. A.J. Dillon, who's had one game this season where we've seen that he can carry the load, but we don't know how he's going to be utilized, because he wasn't utilized again after that Week 16 matchup, really. So you don't know what these guys are going to throw at him, and you can say whatever you want, and LaFleur can call whatever you want, but because there's such a synergy in this offense between those 3 guys at the top, you have no idea what's going to be called or run from play to play.
Brandon, you're on mute. Brandon, you're on mute. Hold on.
You're on mute, Brandon.
There you go.
Jay, you did. Yeah, there you go. Jay, you did a lot of talking and a lot of explaining, but I still don't understand. Like, so are you saying the floor has a chance over the Rams? What are you saying?
I'm saying that he's asking, should there be an intimidation factor that Matt LaFleur can overthink this? And it's not about what LaFleur thinks or not. No, because it's not. Because he, at the end of the day, whatever LaFleur calls, B-Jack, okay. Yeah, whatever LaFleur calls, it doesn't matter, because with what they've done in the install of this in the offseason, Rodgers has complete freedom, not only of just the 2 or 3 plays that they call in the huddle, but if he gets up there and those 3 plays, he doesn't believe any of those are the best, he has the ability to say, okay, we're going to run this or this instead. And he's got all that lingo down now. And they were just talking about this on NFL Network about how smooth and unstoppable that these guys have really been against defenses, that they keep them off balance. So it is what it is. And I think it's a little overblown. This isn't the same as last year with this Packers offense. And I think we've seen that with the efficiency numbers with almost 50 less throws, is what I said. The efficiency with Aaron Rodgers has went through the roof on less pass attempts than he had last season. And I believe there's somebody that disagreed with me on this panel.
Jay, you know why I'm laughing? Because Jay never, ever takes a moment not to bring up how right he was in the preseason this whole year. On my show, on his show, when I've been on, he always brings up the points he made and he's been right all the time. So I'm not going to argue. But there are two stats here that I'll start with you, Brandon, then we'll get back to Jay before we get to the more questions that I'm really concerned with. One is Sean McVay, I think, is 36-0 when he leads at halftime. So if the Rams are up at halftime, it could be lights out. Second, I don't know the exact temperature. I checked before. When it's below 32 degrees since 2016, Aaron Rodgers is 10-0 with 26 touchdowns, 1 interception. Do you think the weather, Brandon, obviously, and can you answer this question? How many fans will be there today?
I would say in the range of maybe 500 to 1,000. When it comes to the Lambeau effect, I truly think that will be a factor, and I think McVay will go 36-1 today. Even if they're up at halftime or down, I think the Packers beat them. I think it's not close. I don't think it's going to be a struggle. The only team that's going to struggle here today is the Rams. The Rams offense has always been struggling. The defense has been doing well, but not great. I think Aaron Rodgers come up with a game plan and LaFleur come up with a game plan to ease this game on nice and slow and then take over after halftime.
All right, Jay, same question. What makes Aaron Rodgers so great in freezing weather?
Because the other quarterbacks aren't used to it, and he is. This is a California guy that has played 16 years in this weather and had the chance to acclimate and build his game in this weather. And Jared Goff, on the other hand, has small hands, 3 pins in his throwing. He's not
going to feel it. He's not going to feel it.
And he has got and this game, everybody's talking about the temperature. Yeah, the temperature right now, well, the sun is up. But did you watch Stacey Dales? It's windier than hell right there right now, and it's overcast. This game starts at 4:35. I think sundown is like 5:10. So we're talking about somewhere halfway between in the first quarter. The sun's going down, and if you've ever lived by the water in Wisconsin with wind, that's going to drop this temperature a good 20 degrees easily. And so that's going to be a huge difference.
I'm a little concerned with you watching other shows when you should be watching this show from beginning to end. Like, why are you quoting other shows? This is all you need. We're one-stop shopping. We're Walmart.
You're not on at 8 o'clock. You're not on at 8 o'clock when I'm drinking my coffee, Monte. All
right. Brandon, listen, I've been saying all year, feed them early, feed them often. I understand they wanted to keep them fresh. Is this a game where Aaron Jones rushes the ball for 25 or more times, or are they still going to do running back by committee?
I think they take the ball out of Aaron Jones' hands. I don't think he gets 25 carries. I think he gets 17 touches. And when I say touches, that means whether it's in the passing game or the run game. This will be a committee, but it will be Aaron at the forefront. I think Dylan will be a huge contributor to this win today, but it's going to be mid second quarter, late fourth quarter, where we have to run time off the clock and just pound the ball.
But Brandon, can I make the argument that, look, we're going to go with our best running back, we're going to go with our best wide receivers. I'll get to the question later about Devontae Adams going up against Jalen Ramsey. You can't shy away from your best player.
It's not saying that he's not the best player, but it's a committee. You got to do whatever it takes to win the ball game, and if that means taking touches away from Jones to increase volume, to increase production, then that's what has to be done.
Just look at week 16, Monte. You had A.J. Dillon had 21 carries for 120 some yards. Aaron Jones touched the ball 10 times and had 94 yards. So I believe if you look at his efficiency, he is much more efficient with 15 or less carries than he is when he gets to that 15 plus carries. And you're talking about a cold weather, 250-pound back with the best defensive player having a rib injury. I don't want a 205-pound, 5'8" running back running at him. I want the hammer hitting that guy and making him sore early and often, and then having to go sit on the sidelines and feel that cold, so that by halftime he's making business decisions when he sees that big boy. And so I think you can literally do this by committee, but have A.J. Dillon be that workhorse and have Aaron Jones still be highly efficient, but he's then a bigger part of the pass game and not wear him out.
Brandon, I know it's about winning, and I'm not going to sit here and say that because when I coach basketball, I play 10 guys. Every game I play 10 guys, and we were extremely successful. But as a running back, playoff time, do you go into the coach and say, look, I want 20 touches, or you just leave it alone?
I leave it alone because I know I'll get my touches. And see, what you have to understand nowadays, 20 carries, that's a lot on your body. But if you're getting 20 touches, it doesn't matter where it comes from. It could come from screens. It could come from lining out wide and doing a quick hitch. It can be an option route. It could be 10 carries. So as long as he's productive and when he touches the ball, that's what matters.
So, Brandon, you never went into a coach in high school, college, or pros and says, I think I can help us win by getting more touches. You never did that.
Yes, but once again, for me, it's not carries. It's touches. It's how I get the ball, whether it's in the passing game, the run game, the screen game. As long as I'm touching the ball, I feel like as long as Aaron Jones is touching the ball, I feel like the Packers will be productive.
Okay, let's move on here. Jay, I want to talk about this defense. I think they're going to have a little bit of trouble here. George brings up a great question about the Rams running attack. But can we make an argument here? Why is Jair Alexander not getting national recognition? Because he's one of the best defensive players in the NFL.
Well, he's the number one corner in the league, and the most receptions he's allowed all season was 4.
And no one talks about him, Jay.
Right. He's allowed 0 touchdowns all year, and the most yards he's allowed was 66 yards week 1. He hasn't allowed more than 30 yards, and the next highest yardage was 28 yards. So and no touchdowns. And so when I hear about Jalen Ramsey and he's a shutdown, and he's got interceptions and all that, that's great. But if you can't catch the ball, you can't get receptions, and you can't get yards, and you're not scoring touchdowns, I don't care if you don't ever get an INT. Because you literally can't.
But that's what it's all about. That's what the position is all about. It's about stopping the guy, but what gives you the fashion points? What gives you the fan points is the interceptions, and he's not doing that. Yes, he's a lockdown corner.
Brandon, hold on here.
Yes, he's a lockdown corner. Yes, he's a lockdown corner.
Darrelle Revis, they never threw to him. So how is he going to get interceptions? If you limit that side of the field, that's what you want. It's not.
Hold on. It took a while for Darrelle Revis to build his island. Correct. The same thing goes here. The cornerback that's up in the Buffalo Bills right now, Josh Norman. It took him a while. He wasn't an interception guru. He was a lockdown corner. It took him a while, right? So as a guy that doesn't get a lot of interceptions, in order to build that national news, it's going to take a while when you're not picking the ball off. That's all I'm saying.
Look, all I can tell you this, Monte and Brandon, I think your take there is completely asinine, because you're basically telling me that if a guy has 5 interceptions but gives up 8 touchdowns in a season, he's better than a guy that gives up no touchdowns.
I've never said that. I never said that. Stop putting words in my mouth. I never said that.
You're saying that you have to have INTs based on the position.
No.
The position is don't allow receptions or yards, because then they can't score.
I said why he's not getting national news. The question was, why is he not getting national news, Jay? Stop putting words in my mouth.
He's in Green Bay, and they just don't like to talk about Green Bay. I'm still hearing that these guys are going to run all over the place.
What happened with Charles Woodson? Charles Woodson was a lockdown, and he was getting interceptions. He had the national news.
But Charles Woodson also played like 7 positions in this defense.
It doesn't matter, Jay. It doesn't matter.
He's a defensive
back.
So, Brandon, you're saying. And again, this is so weird because I always agree with you.
It's going to take a while. Take a while.
But do you agree he's one of the best defensive backs in the NFL?
Yes.
He's number 1, in fact. He is the best. He's ranked number 1. It's not even close.
Jay, let's get back to this defense, Jay, because I think that the Rams are going to be able to run the ball early, but then Jared Goff's going to struggle, so I think the Packers will make the adjustments. Are you worried about the running game and the 3-headed monster that the Rams sometimes use at running back?
No, because first of all, you have Snacks Harrison there, and in his 12 snaps in week 17, he made a large difference. They had a week off to implement him into this defense. Second of all, if you look, they faced some top rushing offenses in the last 4 weeks of the season, and they held them not only out of the end zone, but they held them under 100 yards. This is not the same old Packers defense. And at one point, like I said before on Twitter, if you follow me, you'll see that Matt LaFleur went over and basically threatened Mike Pettin to worry about the run. And when they have worried and played fronts and defenses and manned up and been aggressive, they stop the run and they create turnovers and they get 3 and outs. When what concerns me is that Matt LaFleur stops babysitting Mike Pettin and he goes back to this 25 yards off the ball zone coverage and 2 down linemen and 22 DBs, and then allows them to run the ball because he's worried about the point spread. That's what I'm concerned about. But as long as Matt LaFleur babysits Pettin and keeps him on task of what he's supposed to do, this team is efficient at stopping the run now.
Okay, so Monte, my take on this, I want to go back. I want to go with Jay talk. I want to go back to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Cleveland Browns game. The Pittsburgh Steelers went into that game. That's why they lost. They went into that game doubting the Cleveland Browns, thinking that they wasn't gonna win and that we always had their number. This is little bro. We got them. The Packers do not need to go into this game thinking that they got this run game locked down. All right. I think that division over there in which the Rams face is tough, and you have a 3-head monster in the running back group that works their behind off to get yards and their grit. They got grit, and I'll give them that. If you relax this week against the Rams running backs, it will hurt you. It's gonna hurt. Because listen, the Packers been doing a great job. The Packers been doing a great job against the running game so far, shutting down Henry, shutting down Montgomery. If you go into this game not thinking that you have to shut down a 3-headed monster in the running back group, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, listen, the Rams game plan is the same as the Cleveland Browns. They want to keep Aaron Rodgers off. They want to keep Patrick Mahomes off. Now, listen, we know about Devontae Adams, and we'll get into that matchup a little bit. We know about my boy Aaron Jones. Who needs to be the third option today for Aaron Rodgers?
See, when you talk about committee with the running back group, I think that the third option is by committee. You got Lazard, you got Tunyon, you have MVS, you have everybody is the third option. Everybody's the third option by committee. I think it's just not Devontae. I think it's just not Aaron Jones. You have to have Williams. You have to have Dylan. You have to have everybody as a third option. So for me, not one person is just the third option.
All right, Jay, give us 3 keys to this game for the Packers on offense. And then when you're done, Brandon, give us 3 keys to this game for defense on the Packers.
First of all, on offense, I believe you have to establish the run game early and then hit them deep and allow Aaron to do what he's best at in the league this year, is hitting the play action pass. Once you do that, it pretty much opens up this offense. And second of all, like I said earlier, I think it's not giving Aaron Jones the bulk of the carries. I think it's running that 250-pound rookie, A.J. Dillon, right down their throat and just pounding him into submission like we saw in Week 16. Yeah, it's just something in the cold. In a game like this where it matters, it opens up your offense so much more. And third of all, I think it's just they need to do what they've done all season. Have fun. When Aaron Rodgers is smiling, like a lot of people say, he's the most dangerous supervillain in the league. When that smile is on that face, you just don't want to see Aaron having fun. So if he's having fun, man, it's going to be a long day at the office for this Rams team. And George, by the way, I don't think anybody's taking the Rams lightly. It's just the fact that everybody's overblown the Rams, and they lost to the Jets. Okay? They lost to the Jets. I don't know about a number one defense that lost to the Jets, that gave up over 24 points on average per game in the last 4 weeks, and one of those was losing to the Jets. It's a fraudulent number one defense. That's the end of it.
We do this all the time on this show. Normally, I'm the one who mentions the Jets, so our drinking game. So thank you so much for mentioning that. So whatever you are, guys, whatever you're drinking, take a free shot because he just mentioned the Jets. I can't forgive the Rams. I cannot forgive the Rams because we had Trevor Lawrence. Now that's out the window. All right, Brandon, give us 3 keys to this game on defense.
Okay, so for one, for me, it's attacking the line of scrimmage, attacking the quarterback, and attacking the ball. When I say attacking the ball, whether the ball is in the air or on the ground, the Packers defense have to attack. They have to hit. They have to be a hard hitter. They have to get hurries on the quarterback. They have to put golf into submission. They have to make this where it's just a dump the ball out of the backfield type of game because Sean McVay does not know what to do. That's how you win this ball game from a defensive standpoint. And I go back to the Tennessee Titans, how they just shut Henry down, how they shut the pass game down. This team has to go out here, and they will, mark my words, they will go out here and they will have fun. They will shut the run game down. They will have excitement. This game is not close. The game
you guys
is not
are super confident in today's game.
I have Monte, I have my dream, man. I have my dream again. Going back to the Super Bowl 2010, I had my dream again. The Packers will be in Tampa.
Let me ask you the question.
I had a dream too, B-Jack, and it wasn't pretty for the Rams, man. It just wasn't. It wasn't. I've been visualizing this for a long time. This isn't one of those bad matchups against the number one defense versus where they keep making this. This isn't the same, guys. This is a year, honestly, when I look at the league as a whole, it's a year where there is no true number one defense. You're there because of numbers and ranks, but if you watch the film and watch the games, your number one defense lost to the Jets. Like, where is there any other year in a history where a number one defense loses to an 0-for team and looks terrible while they're doing it and made that offense look like they had a bunch of Pro Bowlers on it? It's a fraudulent year for number one defense. Hold on.
For offense, if I was the Packers, what I would do, I would have Williams, I would have Jones, and I would have Dillon, making sure they chip Darnold, chip them. Get those rib shots in. Slow them down.
Brandon, let me ask you this question because my last time I coached an AAU team, 11th grade. We won a championship, and I stopped coaching. My last time coaching college basketball, we lost in the Elite Eight to the team that won the national championship by 1 point. When I watched March Madness, this was 10 years ago that I coached college basketball, I still get upset about that loss. You won a Super Bowl, okay? But when you watch the playoffs, people say all the time the losses are always worse than the victories. Do you agree with that? When you watch the playoff game, do you still get something like, man, I still wish I was there?
Yes, because once again, I kind of said that when I was talking about the Packers defense, just the enthusiasm of the defense. Hey, when you can tell when playoff football is fun is when the defense is flying around. It's not the offense. The offense is supposed to do what they're supposed to do, but it's when the defense is flying around, shutting offenses down, smacking guys in the mouth, intercepting balls, taking it back to the house, posing for the camera in the end zone. That's when you're winning. That's playoff football. And I can go back to 2009 when we were in Scottsdale, when we was in Arizona, and man, we just going toe to toe, back and forth. That game always come to my mind when I think about playoff football and having the ugly scar of losing.
Well, that's because we got robbed, because if all these Saints fans and all these people that talk about, bad call cost us the game, that's the only game in the playoffs I've seen that literally the call cost them the game. It's a missed face mask in overtime, caused a fumble, runs back for a touchdown, game over. Now, unless it's the last play of the game, I don't want to hear the Saints fans. Your quarterback had a 3 minutes left in overtime, throws an interception. That call didn't cost you the game. A true game-changing call, the only one I've seen in the last 10 years or so, was that matchup you guys were in, because it literally, that was the last play. They picked up the ball, ran it in, boom, game's over. They don't even kick an extra point in that scenario. So, I mean, that's why I think that one hurt. But you know what? If you don't have that play, I don't think you guys win the Super Bowl the next year because that made you all mad and hungry.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. You know, we see all the time that teams have to go through their bumps before they could really – you very rarely – I mean, look, Kansas City lost to New England, right? They come back, they win the Super Bowl. We saw – me growing up, I saw in the mid-'80s, Michael Jordan could never get past the Pistons. The Pistons couldn't get past the Celtics. You got to take your lumps sometimes. All right, so who wins this game, Jay? We'll start with you. Give us a score. And who wins the other NFC game? And then we'll get Rico and Levi on. Again, I'm talking with Jay Andrews and Brandon Jackson here on the Full Monty Sports Show. And I want you guys to kind of comfort Rico because rumor has it he's been wandering around the streets because his Pittsburgh Steelers team, who he said was the most underrated 10-0 team, I said they're the worst 10-0 team in history. But first, Jay, who wins today's game? Give us a score, and give us a score for the Bucs Saints.
All right. Honestly, I picked the under on this game on Tally site when I did my picks because I'm going to give the Rams some respect on defense that it's not going to just be a walkout here. So I got this 24-14 for the Packers. I don't think they necessarily have an offensive explosion, but I don't think it's the score that matters. I think it's the way they control the clock regardless of the score in this one. And I got the Bucs over the Saints here. Michael Thomas is now, I don't think he's playing. And I just think that Tom Brady is pissed. And when he's pissed and he goes into a game, I think that's when he plays his best. And they're just loaded on offense compared to the Saints. And I think the defenses are pretty evenly the way they've been playing. And so I think the Saints go off, or the Bucs go off. I think it's a 38-21 game.
Wow.
The Bucs beating the Saints at home.
Wow. All right, Brandon, you're up.
Well, my scores are flip-flop like Jay's. I think the Packers beat the Rams. The score for me is 35-17, or you can even say 38-17. Once again, I just don't think this game is close. I don't think they just blow them out the water, even though the score may say so. I just think they get up on them early, and the Rams kind of fight back, but it's just not – they don't have enough time, and it's not good enough. For me, I can see that being a close game with the Saints and the Bucs. I see the Bucs winning 34-31.
Wow, so you both have them winning.
Yes.
All right, we're bringing on Rico. Show me the money, Graziano, and Levi. Levi, you're on mute right now. Rico, let me just come out and say this right now. It's not often that I talk trash. But
not often. Okay, go ahead. I guess our definition of often is really off.
10-0, I said they're the worst team in the history of the NFL that started 10-0. What the hell happened to the Steelers? And if you remember correctly, 3 years ago, I wrote an article saying that the Steelers will not go back to the Super Bowl for a decade. What happened, Rico?
Well, I just, I feel like the game plan was to give them 21 points and then come back in a triumph, in a big win. But it was, the team came out unprepared. That's what an NFL team looks like, unprepared. You can say what you want, but that they just were not there to play football. And, and it was hard. It was hard. Like I said, it wasn't as much heartbreaking as it hurt my feelings that they just were not prepared. I like to be prepared for certain things, but that one I was just a little like, wow, they really just didn't even they put their uniforms on, that's what they did. I guess that was rough.
Look,
Rico, they came out in their jerseys, not their pads.
That game proved right there how special and important Bud Dupree and Bush are to that defense.
Yeah, totally.
And the loss of those two was so apparent. This was a bad matchup against a team that was very overconfident against the team in their division, and it came back to bite them in the ass, and that's just the way it is. I mean, I wouldn't be too sad, Reek. I mean, don't let Monte.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sad either, Rick. I just knew it was going to happen. I knew they were going to lose.
It was inevitable.
I knew the Browns had their number. The Browns had their number.
I knew that you've said to your coaches before that, hey, give me the ball, I'll win us the game. When I heard you say that a few minutes ago, I cried laughing. I was like, you still say that. You still say that, Brandon. Give me the ball. Give me the mic. I'll win us this game.
All right, listen, let's get Levi in, and then we'll get Jay and BJ's thoughts on this. 4 GMs came out anonymously in a poll, and they said that they would take Josh Allen moving forward over Patrick Mahomes just because he's bigger, he's stronger, and he appears to be, the real deal and a franchise quarterback. So first, Levi, as the only Bills fan here, would you agree with that? Then we'll get the rest of those guys' conversation with that.
No, I would not agree with that. That's ridiculous. Patrick Mahomes is Super Bowl MVP and NFL MVP. He is all-time leader in passing yards per game, net yards per game, adjusted yards per pass, lowest interception rate of all time, passer rating, and it goes on and on and on. Mahomes, in my opinion, is going to go down as the best of all time if he just continues doing what he's doing. Allen is great, but what has he done? He's won one playoff game. That said, I'm a Bills fan. I'm super excited for today. I hope that we win today, and I hope he beats Mahomes, but he's got a lot of work to do.
Levi, you should be in like Dr. Pepper jail. You know, the commercials where they say no Dr. Pepper for that. That's blasphemy to go against your quarterback like that. I just hope Bills Mafia doesn't hear you right now. For me, I have to go. You guys know where I'm going with this. I got to go with 17, just for the simple fact he has consistently climbed that ladder. I think Pat Mahomes is riding off pure just athleticism and just what Andy Reid does in that type of offense and what's around him. I think it starts to decline year after year. I don't think Pat Mahomes is just
You're telling me that Patrick Mahomes is on the downcline of his career? He just signed a huge contract.
No. I said I think he will consistently decline. I didn't say he's on the downside of his career. What he won't put back-to-back years together like that. I don't think he can do that.
So you would agree with the general managers that Josh Allen, you would take him over Patrick Mahomes. And let me just clarify what you said.
The long haul.
Okay, let me clarify what you said because you sound like a politician. I said you think Patrick Mahomes is on the decline of his career. And you said, no, he's not on the decline, but every year you'll see him declining. What the hell does that mean?
That means he's not declining yet, but he will soon.
It's like, this is the craziest question because at the end of the day, it's like saying who's better, me or Monte? Like I'm Patrick Mahomes in this situation. Like I've got
don't do that to yourself.
I can't believe this deep. Like, 4 GMs out of how many teams are there?
Four GMs.
Okay, here's the thing. Brandon brought this up on our show, and it blew me away. Like, I was speechless when he brought this up. But when you start to dig into the tape and start to listen to it, there's a lot of issues with Patrick Mahomes that are covered up by the amount of talent he has. Pre-snap, he does not do the things that the elite quarterbacks do pre-snap. As soon as the ball is snapped, he is not reading the entire field and going through his progressions on a down-to-down consistent basis. He's playing – now, this is what kills me. He plays a ton of schoolyard, run around, throw the ball, and he's highly reckless. Now, when we had a quarterback a few years ago in Green Bay that was living off that under Mike McCarthy, yet not being reckless with the ball, he was crucified for it, that why can't you play within this offense? And yet we praise Patrick Mahomes for it. Now, we also talked about Aaron Rodgers is, well, we get wowed by the big plays and we don't look at the little things. Well, that's the exact thing with Patrick Mahomes. When you start breaking down what a quarterback, all the little things they're supposed to do to be elite, Pat isn't doing those. He isn't developed. Now you've paid this guy a lot of money, and as this talent gets older and you can't replace it because of the money you're spending, we're going to see then if Patrick Mahomes is really the cream of the crop. Now, when you talk about Josh Allen, he's on an opposite scale. He came in as a very erratic quarterback that is starting to calm down and is starting to take command of this offense and make the players around him better. Now, they went out and got him a Stephon Diggs, but Stephon Diggs is a deep threat receiver that, when he's got his games and he can be shut down, he's not Devontae Adams as far as route running and getting off the ball. He's more.
But he hasn't been shut down, so I don't agree with that last.
With this offense, he hasn't. But I saw 185-pound, 5'11" Jair Alexander take him and his counterpart off in one play. And I'm sorry, you can't be an elite receiver if a guy that you outweigh by 20 or 30 pounds can knock you and your number 2 receiver out in one play.
Man, it's all about leverage. It's all about leverage. It's leverage.
So
okay, let me just interrupt you. I'm gonna give Levi a chance to rebuttal because me and Levi are on the same side here. But I'm just gonna post this first, Levi. Does believing you're the last sane man on the planet make you crazy? Rico, Brandon, and Jay are absolutely insane right now, thinking that Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes.
Whoa, Rico.
He doesn't think that.
Rico was off the ship.
Rico, I lost you when you said it's like comparing me to Monte. Am I better than Monte? So you're out of this argument right now. Levi, please close this off argument.
I hope that it's true. I hope that Allen becomes better than Mahomes. But right now, we haven't even seen him for a full season. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. He needs to do it this year and next year. Mahomes has already done it for 3 years.
Well, hold on, Levi. They were praising Pat Mahomes before he even won a Super Bowl. So what's the difference?
Yeah, because Pat Mahomes has been better than
right.
Aaron Rodgers since the first year he started. And that, to me, that's blasphemy. That's insanity in itself. Trying to tell me that anything that Patrick Mahomes does is better than what Aaron Rodgers does is absolutely asinine to the 10th power.
I agree with that, but it's a different question.
And you said he's going to be the best quarterback ever? Really? Ever?
He's on that trajectory. Yes, I really do believe that.
I agree with Levi 1,000%.
And he's not, and because it's really about the small things, and that's the problem here. The wild plays, that's based on the talent around you. When you're not doing the benign things that people ignore or don't wow you, and you see that consistently game after game, snap after snap, that tells me that until that happens, that his ceiling is a lot lower than people want to admit it is. Because
Jay,
at some point, you're not going to have that talent around to bail you out.
I'm going to go, then we'll get Levi in. Jay, can I just say, look, with the way the game is played now, and listen, Patrick Mahomes has a huge contract. He's not going to be able to sign the offensive lineman Kansas City. But as long as he has Andy Reid's here, and as long as he can play off script, that's what they need him to do to win and be successful.
No, because that's how Aaron Rodgers got hurt and broke his collarbone twice. Is running outside the pocket, playing off script, and allowing his offensive lineman not to protect him and not going. Schoolyard ball is what caused Aaron Rodgers to miss almost 2 full seasons in his career.
Well, you're comparing Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has been in the league 3 years, and he's already got an MVP, and he's already got a Super Bowl MVP, and he's got a Super Bowl. He's pretty much
Aaron Rodgers.
And I have no idea how we went to Aaron Rodgers has even entered this conversation.
Because that's who he designed his game after, and that's who everybody wants to say.
Well, because
just look at the State Farm commercials. Look at the State Farm commercials.
All right,
but the question wasn't Rodgers versus Mahomes. If it was Rodgers versus Mahomes, I would have taken Rodgers, but that wasn't the question. The question was Allen versus Mahomes.
But that's
they always go back to Rodgers.
Allen, and here's what it is, Levi. When you watch the tape of Allen, that's what I was trying to explain when I talked about him is. You're looking at Allen in the opposite light of Mahomes. He's come in and you've seen him be completely erratic and do just goofy things and look like a kind of a lost puppy dog in the offense at times, kind of like an early Brett Favre did. But what you're seeing now is when you want to compare these, you're seeing a Pat Mahomes not evolving into what an elite quarterback really does. And you're seeing Josh Allen take those baby steps. They might be small, but you're seeing him take those steps to be the true commander and chief of his offense. And it's not because of the players around him. He doesn't have the great run game. He doesn't have all the weapons at tight end and receiver that he has. They went out and got him Diggs because he needed at least one really solid weapon. This isn't the same style offense, and yet you're seeing a 13-3 team, out of Allen because of the little things that he's growing into. Pat Mahomes is living and dying by having 4 or 5 offensive weapons that he can just do whatever he wants all the time, and they bail him out. And then on top of it all, I saw at least 15 plus interceptions dropped that were thrown by Mahomes this year. Those same mistakes you cannot find on tape with Josh Allen. He's been much more efficient.
All right, Brandon, close it out.
Jay, as you know, you're like my daughter. Like, she comes home from school and she talks about her whole day and does not breathe. Hey, baby, slow down, take a breather, and then tell me what's going on.
I don't need to breathe,
girl.
Slow down, take a breather, and tell me what's going on. All right, but you make a valid point. But let me tell you this, Monte. All right, in all seriousness, When I found out that there's no Pat Mahomes rate, that's when I went Josh Allen.
All right, listen. The 4 GMs have said that, and that would have been blasphemy last year. Okay, Jay, Brandon. First, Brandon, we'll start with you. Then, Jay, close it out. Brandon, how do you watch these games? Do you have a tradition of watching? Where do you watch the Packer games? Is it with friends, family? Do you watch at the same place every week?
Well, dealing with COVID, I have 2 TVs. I have a big screen upstairs. In the living room, I have a screen, and then I come running up in here to the TV in my bedroom. The reason I do that is just to get exercise, keep my adrenaline going, because it's too cold outside. I don't know if it want to snow, the wind want to blow, what's going on. So I just got 3 TVs going. I got NFL Game Day. I can check them all out on one screen, but it's just the excitement of running around the house. And also, I want to say this about Eric Bieniemy with the Chiefs. I feel like Eric Bieniemy will be left off that list again of NFL hires. I think that he will soon either go and be a college head coach, or I feel like what's best for him is to go to Tennessee and be their offensive coordinator.
Listen, I think that was my first choice for the Jets, but Robert Saleh, I'll get into that later. I think it was a good hire. Jay, where do you watch the games, and how can we follow and support? I see you had one of my favorite guests, Karita Parks, on your show last week.
Yeah, and she was awesome. It was fun talking to her. Now, I got 2 TVs, 2 areas too, because it depends on how mad my wife is about what I'm saying during the game. So there's one in the den right to the right of where I'm sitting right now. That's my big screen, and then we've got the big screen up in the living room. We watch with the whole family. My son, now at 11 years old, going to be 12 this year, he has gotten bitten by the football bug. And so now he enjoys coming down and watching the games and making sure that everybody says, go Pack, go every third down, whether they're on offense or defense, for the good luck factor. And so it's really enjoyable. But at some point, there's at least one moment every game where my wife is ready to throw me out of the living room. And so I have to have the TV on down here so that I can come cool off before she calls me back up to this.
You know what's funny? Rico's wife does that, and they're not even watching football. So, you're in good standing. All right, Jay, Brandon, how can we support you guys? How can we follow you on social media?
All right, you can hit up the show on all social media platforms by searching Third and Two. On Twitter, it's Third capital N2 Pod. And then also we are on every Wednesday. We record. The episodes come out on Thursdays. It's on all platforms. Give us a follow, like, share, subscribe. And hit us up with your questions. We've got an opportunity every show where if you've got questions you want to ask about any team, we cover the whole NFL, not just the Packers, with our boy Matt Hamilton from Good Morning Football, who's been on here with you also, Monte. And it's called Ask the Champ, Ask B-Jack, and he will answer any of your questions. So you hit up the show and use the hashtag Ask B-Jack, and your questions will get answered on the episodes. So we have a lot of fun on the show. Obviously, Brandon is constantly taking the L's when he tries to challenge me. It's just the way life is. But he's got a Super Bowl ring, so it makes it all better for him.
I'm going to give you guys he's probably going to be embarrassed by this.
The L in fantasy.
Listen, get Levi on. Levi is an encyclopedia of football. If you think Rico knows a lot about fantasy, Levi knows everything about the NFL. So try to get him on your show, and we'll do this again next week when the Packers win, all right?
Sounds good.
Somebody's about to drop it.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Enjoy the game.
Thanks again, guys. Have a good
Love you guys.
Saturday. Love you too,
Those
Reed.
guys are great. Those guys are absolutely great. Levi, let's get right to it. I'm going to put your Bills background up. I know you don't like always talking about the Bills because you're the sports philosopher. So let's just get the Bills background up, and then we'll reach out into other things. So last week I said, and a lot of people didn't agree with me, and I don't know why he's not getting more, I wouldn't say media coverage, but more national exposure as Coach of the Year. But if I was voting Coach of the Year, it would be Matt LaFleur of the Green Bay Packers first, Sean McDermott second of the Bills, Kevin Stefanski of the Browns. How do you have this?
I'm about to go to Dr. Pepper jail again because I'm gonna put Kevin Stefanski first. I mean, the Browns were really bad last year, and he completely turned that team around. I think the team has a lot of talent, but talent-wise, I think they're overperforming. Green Bay did well last year, so maybe he should have won. Matt LaFleur probably should have won it last year, but this year, I don't know. I would definitely give it to Stefanski, and I think McDermott it should be in the consideration, but at the same time, we did well last year. The Patriots got a lot worse. The Jets are the Jets. So who are we competing against? The Dolphins?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand. Matt LaFleur in 2 years is 26-6. Rico, why isn't anyone talking about Matt LaFleur?
I'm surprised. I said that last year, and as the year was going on, I said it again this year. And he's the most underrated. I don't know why nobody talks about him and nobody cares about what he's doing. But you know what? It is what it is. You got to be your own salesman, I guess. Your own press man. I'm sorry.
I'm never getting over the Rams losing to the Jets. It'll never be good. And listen, people there are a lot of fans of Rico, but look, Levi, there's a lot of fans of you too, the Sports Philosopher. All right.
Love it.
Listen.
I'm one of them. I'm his number one fan.
Thank you, Rico.
All right.
He's my boy.
You know that I've been on this from week 3 in the NFL and last year. This is the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. I think they're better, just numbers-wise, they're better than what they have out in Seattle. 211 catches between them, Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs. Brown was supposed to be the number 2 wide receiver, but he got injured. How dangerous is this team now, Levi, with Brown? And do you agree with me that these two guys are the best wide receiver combo in the NFL?
You're just trying to get me in trouble. Like, how can you even ask me that question? There's no way they're the best combo in the NFL. There's no way. There's Evans and Godwin, Ridley and Julio, Metcalf, Lockett, Cubs.
Okay, Rico. I mean, Levi, I got to stop you there.
There's so many.
I got to stop you there. Julio, Evans in Tampa Bay and Godwin can't stay healthy. Julio can't stay healthy. These guys have 211 catches between them. How are they not the best combo in the NFL?
They've had a great year. First of all, Beasley's coming into today's game banged up, as is John Brown. So we'll see how healthy they actually are. I hope they prove me wrong. But you can't predict injuries. We're talking about talent. We got to say who's the best and most talented receiver duo, not who stays healthy the most often. Okay, Rico, you agree with me or no?
I think that you guys have got me in a split here because I agreed with you till it doesn't work because Levi can talk me out of anything, and he makes a good point. Like, are we talking pure talent or are we talking who stayed healthy this year?
I'm talking right now. If you
really had a great season, we know he's not a great running back. Not this year. Like he's had a great season, not this year's season, but. You understand what I'm saying? He's not an elite runner. He wasn't,
Who is that, Rico?
Great year doesn't make them the best duo in football.
I would agree.
Again, you're all insane. Okay, let's move on. Okay, break this game down, Levi. Ravens, Bills. I think the Ravens had a huge monkey gorilla off their back with their win last week. Lamar Jackson lost 2 playoff games. They said he couldn't win from behind. He carried that team. This is going to be a very dangerous team. I really like the Ravens defense. A lot of people don't talk about it. And I don't know where the Bills are getting a running game. So when you become one-dimensional, a good/great defense can limit you. Break this game down.
Monte, I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared. Break it down. Their defense, especially their rush defense, is amazing. They just shut down Derrick Henry, who is unstoppable. Our rush is going to be Josh Allen. So the question is really going to be, can Josh Allen run? Additionally, their passing defense is the 6th best in the league, and our passing offense is the 3rd best in the league. So it's really going to come down to, can we run the ball a little bit, and can we throw the ball on them? And then as far as stopping their offense, our rushing defense is middle of the pack, and as we know, they love to rush the ball. And our red zone defense is one of the worst in the league. So can we stop them from punching it in? It's really going to come down to just who can stop the rush or who can stop the other team's strength, I would say. And the weather. I heard that it might snow in Buffalo today. I think that would favor the Ravens because they rush a little bit more. But we'll have to see how it all plays out.
Rico, when you look at this matchup, and you're going to give the predictions here, can we just stop with the argument that Lamar Jackson can't come from behind, that Lamar Jackson can't score? Because going into the playoffs, the last 4 or 5 games, they've been scoring 35 points a game. this offense is unique, and it's unique because of Lamar Jackson.
Well, yes, it is. It is unique in a way, but we still haven't answered the original question, which was, can he come back from behind? We don't know that. He really hasn't done that very often. He's, doing it once or twice is one thing, but going into the fourth quarter with Lamar Jackson as my quarterback, being behind is not something I want. If I was a Ravens fan, he doesn't have many fourth quarter comebacks. I was really high on the Bills for this game, but then I had a dream last night, and in my dream, I had the Ravens blowing them out, which I didn't like, but I don't know. That's not my pick. I'm just saying. I really had the dream last night. It was 40-24, and as the Bills were coming,
you actually dreamt numbers.
What? Numbers. Straight numbers.
I had a dream last night, and we didn't set our fantasy lineup in our dream, so we better make sure to set our lineup.
Oh my God, we didn't set our lineup.
Okay, that leads me to my next question, because I understand, Levi, that you're already prepping for next year's fantasy football, and maybe I should listen to you more, because I was in 3 out of 4 finals, and I had Kamara when he scored the 6 touchdowns, and I lost all 3 of my finals. So I got there, I made a little money, but I didn't win. So,
he said, "I'm sorry," like you lost somebody. He's like, "I'm so sorry." Your losses.
I am, dude.
I don't say that that's sincere. If somebody's family passes away, I don't say that's sincere. Jeez.
So, Levi, give us some people we should watch for next year's fantasy football.
It's early. I mean, we haven't even had the draft or free agency, but I'll just give you a couple names. First of all, I think a lot of people are going to forget about Dak. Dak was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, so don't forget about Dak. If he's healthy, try to target him. Then I would say James Robinson, even though he's not a surprise anymore, but when they get Trevor Lawrence, he's obviously going to get a little bit better. DJ Shark as well. I'm also really interested to see where Travis Etienne and Najee Harris go, especially if one of those guys go to Pittsburgh. We know that Pittsburgh used to love to run the ball, and I could see them getting back to it if they let Connor go, obviously. So many guys. Who else? T. Higgins, I think, is going to be a star next year. He looked great this year. When Burrow comes back, he should be, really good again. CeeDee Lamb as well.
Robbie Anderson went under the radar this year, former Jet with Carolina. He had a phenomenal year. Samuel, with McCaffrey coming back, and if they get a quarterback, that offense could be very good, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I'll still take McCaffrey number 1. A lot of people are arguing about, same thing, that he gets injured, he's not worth the number 1 pick. I'll take him number 1. I would take a flyer on Anderson, sure.
It's funny, Rico, because in the one league that I didn't even make the playoffs in, 3 out of 4, my first pick was McCaffrey, and my second pick was Julio Jones. So I just got wiped out. But Rico, let's talk about this right here. Again, I wrote an article 3 years ago saying the Steelers won't go to the Super Bowl over the next decade. People thought I was crazy. Rico, this team is just not right. I don't know if it's the leadership. I don't know if they tuned out Mike Tomlin. But this used to be a team that you could rely on them to run the ball and then Big Ben make plays. What happened, Rico? What is wrong with this team over the last 2 years? They get worse as the season goes on.
They have gotten worse as the season goes on, and I saw that. But they still ended 12-4. Their defense is still an elite defense. If they sign Bud Dupree and have Devin Bush coming back, I mean, you could win with any offense with that defense that they have. So I wouldn't say that. Let's also remember that they did win their division. And here's the funny part. 3 of the teams in that division made the playoffs, and 2 are still in the playoffs. So, it's not one of those, they had an easier schedule, because there's 4 games right now that they played of 2 teams that are in the playoffs that are going into one of them may make the championship game. It's not impossible.
But,
so,
why are you wearing your Pittsburgh Steelers hat?
Part of the year.
Why are you wearing the Steelers hat? Why? Are you in mourning?
I stay true to my nature. I don't somewhere along my life decide because my team's losing to become a Packers fan. You with the Jets forever, and then all of a sudden, like 6 years ago, you started swaying to a different green. I know where you are now, but at least you jumped on them when they weren't fully winners. I'll give you that. They weren't.
Listen, I'll say this as a Jet fan, and I've said this before as a Knicks fan. As a Knicks fan, the season's over by Christmas. As a Jet fan, the season's over by October 1st. So I don't have a lot to root for. Okay, Levi, who's the best defense remaining in the in the playoffs? Is it the Ravens? Is it the Saints? Or is it someone else?
Probably the Ravens or Saints. I would, if I had to pick one, I would pick the Ravens. But I don't like saying that.
Oh, because they're playing the Bills. But listen,
Yeah.
People don't realize this, and I brought this stat up a few weeks ago. The Bills are number one in the fourth quarter in causing turnovers. Is that because they've been so far ahead that they know quarterbacks have to throw? Is it because they played in a bad division? Or has their defense changed in the second half of games because their coach is so good he makes adjustments?
Our coaching has been really, really phenomenal. But we've also played some really easy teams the last couple weeks. Not last week, obviously, but the weeks before that, for the last month, we were playing easy teams. So I think it made us look better than we were. But I really hope I'm wrong. I think our defense does have some really good players. Today's their day to shine, and so is today's Josh Allen's day to shine. This is the day to prove everybody wrong.
Rico, I don't understand something here. You have the Packers and the Rams, LA market. Again, the Rams are not as popular as the Lakers, whatever, but that game's at 4:30. Why are the Bills Ravens two small markets on prime time?
Because it's a better game. Because the Rams beat Seattle, which give it to them. They were a better team that day, and they are. They matched up, like George always says. They match up really well with Seattle. But I think the big game, the real exciting game, is the Bills and the Ravens. Like, that's the game I want to watch. I'm not looking. I'm not sitting around waiting to see Green Bay Packers beat on the Rams. Like, I'm not waiting to watch that. That's not like a game. It's.
Nobody's giving the Rams a chance. I don't get that. Why is nobody giving the Rams a chance? I
just think the Packers are the most complete team in the NFL. I've said that since like week 9.
You have been saying it the whole time.
I don't disagree, but the Vegas line I saw was 7. I think that's too many points. I don't think they're going to win by 7. I think it's going to be a close, low-scoring game.
All right, Rico, let's talk about that. You lost last week. You're 12-6, having a phenomenal year. You actually beat me in fantasy football by 2 points. I don't even want to talk about that because both of us had terrible weeks. I think it was like 101 to like 99, so it was disgusting. All right, but let's break this down, and then Levi, you can feel to chime in. Green Bay Packers at the LA Rams at the Green Bay Packers. 7 points is a lot. I think the Packers win this like 31-20. Rico?
Oh, I thought you were talking to Levi first. So I think
no. Well, this is the part of the show where you pick the games and the spread. So why would I go to Levi first?
I was in show tweeting.
Levi, I have 30 pages of notes.
That's the thing. They said that they said to me, they're like, "Do you guys do in-show tweeting?" I said, "Yes." And I straight up lied, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to cover up my lie by in-show tweeting." I think the Packers blow out the Rams. Everything. I've been the biggest jinx when it comes to the Rams, but it's going to be broke. There's nothing. No jinx is going to break Aaron Rodgers today. They're going to come in. Aaron Jones is not touching the ball. They're not going to need him to touch the ball much. It's going to be too cold. It's everything's working in Green Bay's favor. And 7 points to me is not much, but that's where I'm at.
What's the score?
38-14, 38-17.
Rico, when I ask you the score every week, why do when I ask you the score, you always look like you don't have an answer? Like you said at the beginning when you came on, you said it's like comparing me and Monte, like you don't know who's better. Are you not prepared for this segment?
No, I am prepared. I just write the score. You know what it is? Asking me to score is tough because sometimes I think that when I write the score down, it interferes with the line. And so, like, I know Green Bay is going to win, and we've had that before where you've asked me and I've told you, and then you asked me to score and the line crosses because I think.
I love how you're not paying attention to me and you're tweeting to someone. Okay, Levi, you said 7.
I'm trying to make the show more lovely.
You're not on record here, Levi, but you think 7 points is too much for the Packers?
I think so. If I was going to bet the game, I'd take the Rams with the points, but I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think it's going to be close. Their defense is so good.
Yeah, listen, they're the number 1 defense in scoring. I think they're letting up 19. The Packers are number 1 in scoring offense. And a great stat I mentioned earlier before you guys came on, since 2016, Aaron Rodgers is 10-0 when the temperature is 32-0. And Rico, whenever you're done tweeting, I'll read you this stat too. He has 26 touchdowns, 1 interception in freezing weather.
Wow.
Okay, let's move on. I don't want to interrupt you, Rico, but we do got to talk about.
I'm not. I'm looking at my fantasy team. I'm actually looking it up because I know that's coming up.
Because I have a dream about it.
Way to prepare for the show. Okay, so we got the Ravens versus the Bills. I want to see Levi's facial expression when you take this game. I think the Bills are done this week. I think that it's over. I think the Ravens win here, and I think they win like 24-20.
I think the NFL wants the Bills to win. I'm taking the Bills. I'm going against my dream that I had that the Ravens blew them out, but I'm taking. You guys make a great argument about Josh Allen. Like listening to you guys talk about it today, he's it's his coming out show. It's his coming out. If he can blow, and you got to remember, the Ravens let up 40 some odd points to the Browns 3 weeks ago. This is not like we're talking about an elite defense. They're playing great, but it only was 3 weeks ago on a Monday night where the Browns just ran up to score. They won that game, but let's not forget 40 some odd.
So you're taking the Ravens to cover and to win.
Wait, what's the spread?
I'm taking the Bills.
Okay, the spread is 2.5.
Yes, I'm taking the Bills to win.
Okay, but Rico, didn't you tell me when a team is favored by 3 and they're home, it's really a push?
Yes, that's what they say. But now this year with COVID, it's very different because it's not like there's going to be fans in the stands.
They're saying that home field is worth 1 point this year.
Yeah, I think the Bills are allowing 1,000 fans. Is that true, Levi?
I think 6,000.
6,000? Okay, so you're taking the Bills to win. Let's move on to Sunday's game. Cleveland Browns at the Chiefs. We had John Meyer on talking about the Chiefs earlier. Look, the Chiefs in their last 7 wins have not covered the spread, which means they're playing down to the competition. I throw all of that out the window. I think they're ready for this game. The Browns, if they could run the ball with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, could keep it close. But I like the Chiefs here, 37-20 in a rout.
Oh, I think I'm going to go. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think it's going to be 23-20, and I'm going with I'm taking Cleveland to cover, not to win.
Rico, I'm going to give you an out here. Don't pick that game. You're going to lose it.
I'm not betting it personally because I'm not crazy. That'll be a little bit about my rant. So,
Levi, who do you like here? You think the Chiefs cover or no?
No, I don't think they cover.
Really?
I believe in the Browns. Yeah, I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think they can keep it close. 10 points is way too much. The Chiefs didn't even cover against the Jets. Why do you think they're going to cover against the Browns?
You know what I love about this show this week? We had a little internet delay, which cost us about 5 minutes, but so many people are mentioning the Jets. So everyone's getting hammered right now, which is a good thing. Everyone's getting hammered. Keep on drinking. Keep on mentioning the Jets. Okay, finally, Tampa Bay at the Saints. Saints are a 3-point favorite, so they're taking a push. Look, the Saints won the first game of the year against Tampa Bay. They blew them out 38-3. 38-3, they won the second game. Can the Saints be taking this team too lightly?
No, I don't think so. I think they know that Tampa Bay is a different team than they were when they played them. Their defense was disheveled that game. They just didn't look – I mean, when you watch this game, the game was over by the first quarter. I don't know how it was, but you felt that. It was like 10-0, and you were like, this game is over. Like they controlled the whole game. That game, they controlled it from start to finish. And I think they know that the Tampa Bay was playing with their heads up there, whatever.
So who do you like here?
Who do I like? I love the Saints in this game. I feel like
so you're taking the Saints
coming out ready. They want to end. They want to shut Brady down. They want to shut this offense down. They're going to rip up their defense. I think that Tampa Bay's defense can't stop New Orleans' offense. And I'm going to go 38-20. It's going to be.
Rico, you're taking the favorite Saints. You're taking the favorite Bills. The favorite Packers. Your only underdog to cover is going to be the Browns.
Yes.
Okay, Levi, before we get your prediction on the Tampa Bay New Orleans Saints here,
I might just bet on 4. That sounded so good when you said it out loud. I might just go bet it right now. It just sounds nice. 14 parlay. Woo.
All right, I'm gonna really, because I don't know what I would do. I keep changing my mind on this question. But if you had a choice of being down 4 with Drew Brees holding the ball and them trying to score, would you take Drew Brees or would you rather take Tampa Bay down 4 in New Orleans with Brady having the ball? Who are you taking there?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean, you got to go with the GOAT. I mean, the GOAT's the GOAT for a reason. I'll take Brady.
You're taking Brady, but it's a hard decision, right?
It is, but especially
Yeah.
at this point of their careers, I just trust Brady. He's done it more times, and I feel like he's got more of a gun at this point.
Yeah, the GOAT, man.
Rico, you don't have any concern with the Saints laying an egg like they've done the last 2 years in the 3 years in the playoffs.
No, you know what? They're different. Every year's a different year, Monty. I know that you like to believe that they're not playing Minnesota. That's a good thing.
I don't know, man. I just think that sometimes their head coach just drives me insane. They got embarrassed by Minnesota last year. They had that bad call against the Rams, and then they had that Stephon Diggs Hail Mary pass. It seems like the Saints, when the game means the most, they shrink. Levi, you don't have confidence in the Saints, do you?
I don't have confidence in them, especially because they already won twice. I feel like, winning twice is hard enough. Winning against a team 3 times in 1 year is almost impossible. But that said, my relationship with the Saints is like one with a toxic ex-girlfriend. Like, I just can't give them up. I don't know. There's something about them. They have so much talent between Michael Thomas and Kamara and Breeze and, everybody on defense, Cam Jordan. Like, they should be able to get it done. But it's going to be a great game.
Levi, you're falling into the trap that Al Pacino fell in. Just when I thought I was out, the Saints pull you back in. I don't believe – I want the Saints to win. I hope they do because I can't root for Brady. All right, Rico, you can have Levi here as kind of, since we brought the Godfather in, as your consigliere. You won last week, but I don't even want to talk about it. It was the worst fantasy football game. Both of us were terrible, by the way. We were both terrible. So yeah. I get the first pick. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. I think he's just going to light it up today against a bad secondary in the Cleveland Browns.
So Levi, am I taking Rodgers or am I going with Allen on this one? You think? Who do you think I do with? Who do you think I go with? I feel like those are my 2 guys that I like. I know you want to say Lamar.
No, yeah. Take. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna go Rodgers. While you watch him throwing touchdowns, you're gonna be cheering and you're gonna be crying at the same time. I'm only taking Rodgers purely to break your heart.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, wait, hold on. So if you're going to take Aaron Rodgers, Levi, are you worried about this matchup? Devontae Adams has clearly been the best wide receiver besides Stephon Diggs and Jalen Ramsey. Are you worried that Jalen Ramsey is going to neutralize him, or you think Adams will get his catches?
He'll get his, but he'll neutralize him a little bit. Ramsey's the real deal, obviously.
So you're taking Rodgers, Rico. You're not taking Josh Allen.
Rico, take Allen. He's going to rush, dude. He rushes.
God. All right.
He's going to rush.
All right, then I'll take Allen.
Lamar.
All right. You're taking Allen. You're taking Josh Allen. Good. Look at this. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback who I think is better, and you're taking Josh Allen. So it's a win-win for me.
See, Levi talks with his head. I talk with my heart because I just wanted to spite you a little bit.
Rico, I will say this. I think the Packers are going to try to run the ball a lot because it's going to be snowy. And I do think that A.J. Dillon, their rookie out of Boston College, who's 250 pounds, is going to get a lot of carries. All right, who's your running back?
Well, after a 6-time, even though they have a vulture on their team called Latavius Murray, I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara.
Smart pick. I'm going to take Nick Chubb.
We're both in agreement on that one.
I'm going to take Nick Chubb because I think Cleveland's going to definitely be able to run the ball against a very, very suspect run defense in Cleveland. So I'm taking Nick Chubb.
I'm just going to go with Aaron Jones. Kamara and Aaron Jones is a great 1-2 punch.
You know what? I'm going to have to go with Cam Akers, because I think the Rams are going to try to run the ball often and early to try to keep Rodgers off the field. And my first wide receiver, I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill. Show me the money, Tyreek Hill. I need like 2 big catches for over 50 yards against that cheesy secondary in Cleveland.
How do I not take Devontae Adams? I don't care who's going against him.
I personally, I would rather Diggs. Definitely rather Diggs, but I'm a Bills fan.
That you are a Bills fan. I mean,
all right, so you're taking Devontae Adams.
I'm going with Adams. I'm going to go against Levi because I know he's going to take Diggs because that's it. And then I'm
of course I'm taking Diggs. I got to take Diggs because I have Diggs and Hill.
So Levi, am I going with Michael Thomas today or am I going?
Yeah.
Hold on. Michael Thomas might not play.
What?
Oh.
Why not?
I don't know. They had something. I mean, if you want to take him, and then give me an alternate.
Well, I guess my alternate would be. Am I going with Evans or Godwin as my alternate? That's
Whoever
a coin toss.
feels more lucky. I don't know. I guess Godwin.
Evans will be my backup if that's the case.
Okay. I'm not, because it is Sunday. We're doing the show today. I heard some rumor. I don't know if it's true. So we'll go with Michael Thomas, and if not, you get Evans. Okay. Finally, your tight end.
Do I even have to say Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
Does it even have to come out of my mouth? I mean,
hey Levi, Croft has been pretty good for the Bills this year, right?
He's been all right, but I wouldn't take him over Andrews or Tony.
No, I'm taking Andrews. I'm definitely taking Andrews. And my defense, I'm going to have to go with the Saints. I think the Saints have really have Tom Brady's number. I think they're going to cause turnovers and get some sacks. And who's your defense?
Oh man, Levi, what do you? I really like Green Bay, but what do you think about KC against Cleveland?
Yeah, I don't know. Cleveland scares me. That, at least according to Vegas, is going to be the most high-scoring game, so I don't like it. I would go with maybe the Rams.
Rams? You
took the Saints. So take the Saints.
I took the Saints. No, I took the Saints.
You took the Saints.
So
he can take the Packers, the Ravens, the Bills, the Browns, the Chiefs, or the Bucks.
You want the I'm going to go. I'm taking Green Bay. I don't think the Rams are going to do much. I think they're going to shut the Rams run down, and Goff is going to have 2 pins in his hand in freezing cold weather. That wind, like Jay said earlier, that wind when it's coming off the water, he knows better than anybody. It's going to be cold. You know, I heard them break down the game earlier. I think I'm taking Green Bay.
I like
it. Rico, you do realize you're taking Aaron Jones, Adams, and the Green Bay defense. You have 3 Packers right there. So you're going to make it hard for me to root during this game.
A lot of that was with my heart. I'm not going to lie. The Rodgers move, I'm all over Green Bay. You know what? It was because I just watched the show. So I was watching it, and you guys have pumped up the Green Bay so much that I can't see them losing.
Yeah, but I think I don't think they're going to lose, but I think Levi brings up a good point. I think Josh Allen's going to get you at least 50 yards on the ground.
That's it. That's my boy. See, that's why I got him. That's why I found him.
All right, Levi, finally, if the Bills win, we'll have you on next week. You're not confident in this game at all. Give us a score.
Give us a score. 23-20 Bills.
But you're not confident.
I'm not confident at all. No way. It's going to be close. We're very evenly matched. But that said, if we can beat the Ravens, we can go all the way.
Who and where do you watch this game?
Hopefully at Rico's house if my COVID test comes back in time.
Just so I love how I don't see the Ravens. If the Ravens win, I don't see the Ravens beating KC because KC already blew them out. I think the best chance for KC not to go to the Super Bowl is Buffalo winning. Buffalo winning.
No, that's what he said. Yeah, that's what he said. He said if Buffalo wins, they can win it all.
Oh, I thought he said he thought the Ravens. I'm sorry.
No, I'm putting a bet. Buffalo plus 550 to win the Super Bowl.
Just to let you know, his first bet was like a month ago, and he bet a prop bet on a midseason game of like I forgot it was like Cole Beasley with like no, it was who was it?
Austin Eckler.
Did you win the bet?
Find 125 yards during a random season game.
No, I lost.
All right, Levi, we love having you on. We'll have you on if the Bills win. We'll have you on next week. Thanks so much for taking the time out.
I'll see you later, guys.
Later,
bro.
Levi, I love how he got all fired up when Brandon Jackson said, you know, you're going to be on the Dr. Pepper commercial for going against your team. He was all fired up. I don't see Levi show emotion that much. Do you?
No, Levi was. He's stressed. Do you feel the stress?
Yeah, he's stressed.
He said it. He's like, I need to be at your house to watch a game. I said, you just got off a plane like 6 days ago. You got to go get a test. And he's a frontline worker. He just got vaccinated. Yeah,
I just got my test too. It was negative, thank God. Prayers out to George Lopez's brother. He texted us last night. Rico didn't respond to the text because Rico has no emotion unless it's about sports. So,
I got like 7 people who got COVID right now. I'm just trying to stay away from everybody.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy, especially here in Florida. All right, Rico, it's time for Rico's rant, one of our favorite parts of the show. We never know what he's going to say. That's why we always show this clip of Uncle Rico. So, Rico, the floor is yours.
Well, here we go. So, every week we talk about football. Football is the most gambling sport in all of history. The Super Bowl is the most game that's the most gambled game in the world. Every year, it breaks records. Every year, it breaks records of more and more gambling. I just want to explain to people before the playoffs go any further in the Super Bowl, gambling is a form of entertainment. It is not a way to make money. I am 12 for 6, and I've only lost 3. I've lost the playoffs. So pretty much everything that I would have done, every year I lose. Let's just call it what it is. Every year
Rico, you're one of the exceptions. You win a lot.
I win people a lot of money, but I'm not picking only 3 games. I do win a lot, but at the end of the day, I'm doubling. Of course, if I win $100, I think I'm going to win $200. So I bet next week even more, and sooner or later that ball gets going. I just want to let people know to not lose themselves and thinking they're going to win money and get rich on a Super Bowl game. The odds are not in your favor.
No, that's why Vegas. That's why Vegas gives you free drinks and free food. The odds are not in your favor.
The odds are not in your favor, and if you win a playoff game, you're going to double your money on the next one. Again, just remember it's a form of entertainment. It's not called MGM. Let you win the money. It's not called MGM gambling. It's called MGM entertainment.
But with that said, Rico, you're saying you're taking a 14 parlay this weekend.
Again, it's an entertainment. See, a 14 parlay, I will sit here all day and explain to you. If I hit that, it's big money. I'm putting $50 down to win like $650. The odds are, those are the odds. They're more. If they were going by the proper numbers, for me to pick a 14 game would be like $50 should pay me like $1,200. But it's not. If I do win, I'm winning only 675, I believe it is.
Okay, Rico, you're gonna put a bet in through me because I'm gonna take the Packers, I'm gonna take the Ravens, I'm gonna take the Chiefs and the Saints in a 14 parlay, and I'm getting the points. So I should win easily. The only difference with you is you're taking the Bills.
I'm taking the bill. I can't go against Levi. If I sit here and I start stressing the other way, it's just not right. It's my friend. I got to go burn. If the house is burning, I got to go. I got to stay with Levi. I got to take it down,
All right. I will be calling you after the show to put my bet in. Because we can't do it here in Florida. All right, Rico, thanks so much.
I can't do it in California either, but guess what? I found a way.
Well, you're like the guys who stormed the Capitol and committed crime and taking selfie. You're blatantly saying you're committing a crime on national TV. And this is a popular show.
I'm not committing a crime. I am betting with my friends. I'm going to pull in Jay Andrews. I'm betting with my friends.
All right, Rico, we'll see you next week. I'll talk to you in about 2 minutes.
Love you guys.
All right, take care. That was Rico Show Me the Money Graziano. Listen, I'm just going to do my quick little extra point rant here. So Urban Meyer has become the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You can say what you want about this guy off the field, covered up his assistant coach beating up his wife, cheated. Urban Meyer, whatever you want to say about him, the guy turns around programs quickly. Now, everyone's saying because of his health problems, because he doesn't have the desire, he's going to be there for 3 years. But if he turns around Jacksonville, who's got a pretty decent roster and draft picks, it's worth it. And finally, my New York Jets hired Robert Saleh. They're bringing over Matt LaFleur's brother as offensive coordinator. I say this all the time, and I'm going to use this quote. Jet fans, it's hard to be a Jet fan, but I really think that the Jets can do some damage here with Robert Saleh. Very good defensive coach, bringing a smart offensive coach in. They have 8 picks in the first 4 or 5 rounds, and they have the highest salary cap room other than Jacksonville. So these are 2 teams that can really turn around quickly if their coaches and their staff make the right decision. I want to thank Chris Rosenblum for joining us. I want to thank John Meyer. I want to thank Brandon Jackson and Jay Andrews. I want to thank Levi, the sports philosopher, and Rico Show Me the Money Graziano. And I want to thank you for listening to the full Monte Sports Show and watching the full Monte Sports Show. Again, if you like this show, our goal is to do this 3 times a week. We are trending number 3 on YouTube. Tell one family member, tell one friend. Enjoy the games, everyone. And in the immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.